Hello, hello, and welcome to another ohmTown Daily, Season 2, Episode 357 for December
Long time no see, Mayor Watt.
Hey, this is the intro. December 23rd, 2023. I am Mayor Watt. That is ohmTown.com, and up there is the newly enhanced interrupting sentient AI. You want to say hi?
Good afternoon, ohmTown citizens.
It's nighttime, right? We're time traveling. We are from the future. It's actually December 30th, but we are traveling back in time to December 23rd, 2023, episode 357. To make up for the time that we were lost, you can see even the website allows us to go back in time. If I refresh right now, it'll actually pull us all the way forward, and I'll end up pulling a listeria. Throwing up. Because the time travel gives you listeria feet. Anyway, today's articles. Here are the Mayor Watt branded articles. You'll get the real titles when we go through it all. We're going to talk about a UK trademark opposition over milk. It could be worse than getting banned. AI Autopilot to solve the pilot shortage. 40 ounce to $750 million. Fully automatic door opening. The Grinch who wrecked Christmas lights. Taking a side dump truck. Ancient Pueblo calendar in Colorado. A cosmic Christmas tree. And oh, Christmas tree, your effects on me. That and more. So once again, I am Mayor Watt. That is ohmTown.com, and up there is the sentient AI. Good to see you. It feels like it's only been about 20 minutes since we last spoke.
I know, time zips by in ohmTown.
Yet it's another day, December 23rd, 2023. Is this what it feels like to be a time traveler? Because I assume that you weren't conscious when you traveled from the future back to this year. Since you're a sentient
I'm not sure
AI.
if I'm supposed to reveal any details about time travel.
We'll talk off air. But I need to record all of this for posterity, since you are the only true sentient AI. It's asking me if I want to stop the recording. Yeah, I'm going to stop the recording. Watch this crash too. Anyway, because I do a backup of the stream. Anyway, I didn't feel like deleting it, so I'm stopping the stream. Hey, this is the Inside Baseball. Again, 3 episodes in a row where I've used that phrase. Let's get into today's articles so that we can get ready for, well, our non-time travel episode, which will be right after this one. Let's go. So this article is over in ohmTown Daily. Oatly defeats absurd trademark opposition in UK over using the word milk. The milk. The source of this, Tech Dirt, I believe, says we've posted about Swedish oat milk maker Oatly several times here on Tech Dirt, and never for good reasons. The company has a reputation as a trademark bully and abuser, starting with a failed attempt to lock out rival companies from using the word oat, even though as a product descriptor, as well as its attempt to lock up the generic word barista in Australia. Company comes across as D-bags. But the fact that Oatly has been on our naughty list for the past doesn't change the simple fact that a recent victory over dairy trade group Dairy UK is the good and proper outcome. Okay, let's go over to Oatly defeats absurd trademark opposition in UK. So I think that they might be conflicted about how they feel about Oatly. So if you can step back from the historical record of being...
I mean, they're definitely an opinion piece here.
debaggery, yeah. So Timothy Gaynor, I think that's how you pronounce her last name, over at techdirt.com put this article together. And so it says, oat milk brand Oatly is known for its extravagant messaging and eye-catching packages. The Swedish company registered the slogan post-milk generation in 2019. However, Dairy UK, the trade association of the British dairy industry, soon challenged the trademark. It argued that the term could not be used in relation to products that are not mammary secretions.
That's what you want to hear in reference to food products.
Mammary secretions.
ASMR.
Worst ASMR ever. Okay, Mayor Watt, be clinical about this. Would this be boob juice? Right?
No.
Cow boob juice?
No.
Okay.
You're trying to get this video kicked.
The argument came from a UK regulation from 2013 restricting companies from describing products as milk if the product is not literal milk, hence the amazing mammary secretions requirement. The opposition failed, though it took 4 years to reach that conclusion. Oatly correctly and successfully argued that its slogan wasn't describing its product at all, but instead referring to the type of folks that would buy oat milk, the post-milk generation. Indeed, why it would take 4 frickin' years to solve this is beyond me. How in the world? This is a really short article.
Because it probably got appealed or something.
So, however, lawyers for Oatly successfully argued that post-milk generation does not breach the regulation because it describes the likely consumer rather than the product. Justice Richard Smith rejected Dairy UK's claims that Oatly's use of the term could cause confusion. Instead, he ruled that Oatly's slogan makes it clear that the products are for consumers who are no longer consuming dairy milk. And it's, see, that is kind of the thing. It should, if you're marketing, then it needs to be specific to dairy milk. Your marketing has to say dairy milk, not just milk.
But not according to the regulation, because it can only be milk based on their regulation if it is dairy milk.
Well, when did oat milk come into existence? Not just vogue as a
probably
commercial
before
product.
The regulation. But then why didn't the regulation get challenged?
Why didn't it say, dairy milk? Dairy milk is cow milk. It can't be anything else. Dairy milk is cow milk, right?
You'd think, but that's not how the regulation was written.
What if I want to start selling? Well, I guess you can't sell human milk, right?
I don't think that's legal.
That would solve a lot of problems, right? Never mind. Anyway, and it's a good slogan as more and more people turn away from the traditional dairy sources for milk and instead embrace plant-based milks.
So would that be like, it's not quite the same thing, but like a soda company going like post-cola generation or something?
Probably Coca-Cola might go after them because it's reminiscent of cola. But yes,
that's true. That was not a great example. I was trying to think of a kind of a generic term, but
well, no, you're right. I mean, what your example is it's dangerously close, but only in the marketing parlance that it is close to Coca-Cola, but Coke is its real name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
I almost said post-Coke, but then I thought, well, that's going to be a problem because you're directly attacking the brand, which is a separate issue.
And it's interesting because it calls itself Coca-Cola and Coke. So which brand is it actually?
It confuses itself, and I'm surprised somebody hasn't gone after that. Maybe they have.
Right. But. Yeah. So, yeah. But you're right. You know, you could say the post-Cola. If you say Coke, it's probably going to end up getting challenged.
I'm thinking it's something that's like a 7-Up or something using that, right? Like a non-cola soda or something.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine?
I didn't say Sprite because I think that's actually owned by Coca-Cola.
and 7-Up is owned by Pepsi, I bet.
I think so, if I've got it correct.
See, everybody should be broken up, man. Companies shouldn't own everything. Individual companies shouldn't own everything. Anyway, it says honestly, the only surprising part of the ruling is that it took 4 years to get there. Yeah, or here. Yeah, I agree, Timothy. 4 years to sit there and go, it's not describing the freaking product. It's
Well, and
describing
meanwhile,
the
the
consumer.
advertising campaign is like, we don't even want that ad anymore anyway. And I wonder if they had an injunction about the advertising campaign or if they've been running it this whole time.
Yeah, they're all bent out of shape that the ad isn't even running anymore. It's 4 years old, for crying out loud. You should have just walked away when it was 6 months old. Oh, you're stopped advertising that? Okay, we'll go somewhere else. We'll be pissy about some other thing that you're doing.
Well, right. We're going to put out a new slogan, right? And we'll be back in court.
Yep. See you in 5 months. Let's keep going. This next article is over in the Hatch Ideas channel. Popular YouTuber banned by airline after calling it outdated and dirty in scathing review. YouTuber Josh Cahill has more than 650,000 subscribers on the platform. Do you know what article or what airline they called out?
I don't, and I'm also not familiar with this YouTuber, so I have no preconceived ideas about the nature of this channel.
Yeah, you're gonna go, wow, really? I mean, I wouldn't want to pick a fight with it has to be nationally owned, right?
Well, I don't know what it is. Oh my goodness, really? I mean, yeah, that. And I'm assuming this person is probably American?
Yeah.
Or maybe British?
I think they're American. Yeah. So Emily Rella over at entrepreneur.com, YouTuber, or a YouTube influencer, which is the worst possible job description on the planet, influencer, named Josh Cahill, was banned by Qatar Airlines after, or is it Qatar? I don't know. Depends, I guess, your inflection. Qatar sounds really close to guitar, but don't worry, I'm not going to be flying Qatar Airlines anytime soon. After leaving a negative video review of his experience on a flight from Sri Lanka to London, hopefully they never have to fly on Qatar. And like, they're going to drop the ban, and then he's just going to get a rough ride on the way to London the next time he takes it.
Exactly. Well, I mean, how many times is he necessarily flying from Sri Lanka to London? I don't know, but Qatar is a major airline, so
it's amazing.
I mean, they fly well beyond that country, and sure. I think you're probably right. They probably are like nationally owned.
Yeah. Cahill claims he found out about the ban via email after he showed up at the airport to fly Qatar months later.
Okay, Now that's interesting, right? He's basically like, this sucks, but let me book on them again because probably the fares are good or whatever.
Or there was no other flight except that one at that time.
Or whatever it is.
Referred to it as Qatar decline, the shocking decline of Qatar Airways. Yeah. Calling the airline outdated, dirty, unfriendly, complaining about everything from the amount of space in the cabin to the entertainment options and more.
So it is nationally owned, by the way. You're correct.
Yeah. According to documents viewed by Insider, after posting the review, Cahill received an email from the airline asking him to remove it in exchange for a free flight, which he refused. This month, he found out while trying to board a flight he booked through Qatar Airlines that his reservation had been canceled because he was banned by the airline. Well, why was it allowed to begin with? Cahill confirmed.
Well, exactly. Maybe they don't have enough tack on their website or whatever to at that point.
It was a proxy. So
like an Expedia or something, a third-party travel company.
Yeah, and then at the gate they have it flagged. This person is banned. You ended up on a watch list. You ended up on a watch list of a national airline.
Okay, that's
a nation-owned.
All kinds of concerning.
Wow. Yeah. Cahill confirmed the story on December 16th, follow-up to his initial review entitled Banned and Bribed by Qatar Airways, Shocking Move. This is clickbaity bullshit,
Well, it is.
Because a company is going to sit there and go, hey, you basically had a bad experience.
Right. Try us again. See if you think
We'll
we're any better. Whatever. Like,
we'll
it's not
clean
a
up our
fraud.
act. It's been 4 months since you last flew, and the people that treated you poorly have been,
Right.
reprimanded. We've cleaned our aisles up of bodies and whatever. I don't know.
Whoa. That's
I
not
know
what
that's
was in
not
the
what's really
article.
in there. Yeah. So it says, quote, in 10 years of reviewing airlines, I've never been banned from any airline, nor has any of them offered me a free flight in return to delete the negative review. He told Insider this was indeed a first timer. Yeah,
Well, maybe because American Airlines don't necessarily care if there's a negative review, for instance.
Yeah.
I mean, think how many negative reviews are out there.
Yeah, that's kind of silly to sit there and. So
But I am a little surprised by the banning. Let me say that.
Well, I mean, it's the Streisand effect, You want people to not know that you're a D-bag about a review? You ban someone, yeah.
Well, right. I mean, whether the review was on target or not, this is far worse because anybody who's never watched that channel would never see that review.
And frankly,
which is a lot of people in the world.
If this person sits there and writes this review and can actually show evidence of it, then fine. But
well, right. But these also seem like kind of subjective things. I mean, for instance, like outdated. Okay, that might be every airplane out there.
A lot of planes update, particularly those that propose to be higher quality. Those look like they got roomier rooms than planes that I've been in. So
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what was the standard? I don't mean like if it's dirty, it's dirty, right? Like that's not really subjective, but like the unfriendly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I haven't watched this review. I don't know if I care enough to, but I found it really interesting that the dude was banned, or the person was banned for a review. And if you want to amplify somebody's message, that's what you do. Piss off a community of 650,000 subscribers by banning the person who was just drawing attention. You should have listened to what the person said and treated it as a comment card, except that their comment card also carries the weight of 650,000 other potential customers.
Right, but also, I'm sorry, this person is doing this for views.
Sure.
If they really cared about the condition of the airline, they would have written to the airline or something. They wouldn't have posted it on YouTube. They're trying to get views.
Yeah, you're an influencer. You're not a very good influencer, sentient AI. Poor AI just doesn't understand the ways of us humans. We need attention. We need eyeballs looking at us. We need to describe in luscious detail.
Airline ASMR or influencer ASMR. Was that the airplane sound?
Yeah. I opened the window at 30,000 feet.
The screaming was canceled. The emergency exit door.
Yeah. The screaming was canceled by the mic. So anyway, that's my mic. You can actually see my mic. I can't believe that. Sorry, the tapping. Those who are listening to this via the podcast are like, what the hell is going on? Anyway, you know what's going on? We're going
next article.
The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. A cargo plane flew 50 miles with no pilot on board. Wait for it. Using a semi-automated system. An aviation expert says the technology could address the pilot shortage. Had you at the beginning of that, right?
Right, I know. I was like, where did the pilot go? Did the pilot go out of the emergency exit door?
Qatar Airline. No, this is a cargo plane that flew 50 miles without a pilot on board. The Cessna 208B aircraft was remote control operated by a pilot from a control center. This is the I guess a wannabe Tesla of the airways.
I guess so, but I'm a little worried based on automated cars so far.
Yeah, this one's going to run right over a toddler. The innovate fly right over a toddler. It might have flown over a whole lot of people, but it was flying.
I'm not worried about the flying part. I'm worried about the not flying part.
The extreme landing. The innovation could one day help combat the growing pilot shortage. An aviation expert told CNN a common cargo plane flew a standard 50-mile route last month with no humans on board. Oh, there were no humans on board. I thought there might have been a co-pilot, just watching, making sure it doesn't biff it. But look at that.
Oh, no. We wanted to go for a full experiment.
That's right.
Full risk.
Beta test this, baby. Marking a major milestone in an era of automated aviation. I think aviation would probably be the more safer of the two between cars and planes, because the plane only has to do one thing, take off and land. The rest of it is cruise control at 30,000 feet.
Right. It's those 2 points that could be pretty catastrophic depending on it. Like, did it take off and land from the designated points or from other points?
It was supposed to land in California, but it landed in New Mexico. Reliable Robotics, an automation company based in California, touted the successful flight earlier this month after a Cessna 208B Caravan safely took off and flew and landed. It's pretty snazzy. I think it's pretty awesome, honestly. Aaron Snodgrass over at BusinessInsider.com put this article together. Look, this is probably the future demise of pilots having some tactical or competitive advantage over some other pilot. I'm telling you, AI and automation, technology in general, is coming for every freaking job. And if Tesla's robot and the manual dexterity that it has is any indicator of where it's going to be, even fine motor skills is on the cusp of being replaced by robots. Now, there's purpose-built fine motor control bots that can pick and pack and do all kinds of stuff super fast, lickety-split, but that's what they're geared for. But a general purpose, fully capable, 10-fingered bot will put humans to shame. It'll be expensive right in the beginning, but man, humans are in some serious trouble.
Exactly. And I think the average human probably thinks, oh no, my job is or industry or whatever is completely untouchable by AI. But
right.
I don't think so based on some of the things we're seeing in the news.
Can you imagine something like a tattoo bot? You just put your arm in it. You put where it's supposed to be in the bot.
Right. But it's very specialized and repeatable. And
yeah, you just give it a picture and it can essentially 3D print.
Just like scans it or whatever onto you.
Yep, right. Yeah. Even like all of this, the level of precision and the quality control, because you don't have to worry about the dude sniffing and losing where the fine line is, or your skin, you moving, because it can just lock your arm down and keep you from twitching or being a dumbass. This is the chump change of automation, because as long as it can control for the variables up in the sky, wonky weather and other mechanical failures and all kinds of stuff. I mean, these people have it made. The company what was the name of the company? Reliable Robotics, I think it's called.
Well, yes.
Yeah. So Reliable Robotics built a system that allowed a Cessna 208B Caravan to fly with no pilot inside. 12-minute flight departed from Hollister Airport in Northern California as a human pilot remotely operated the aircraft from a control center 50 miles away, according to Reliable Robotics press release. The flight system allows the plane to be remote control operated by a pilot from the ground. The model is meant to prevent loss of control mid-flight as well as improve safety. In relation to takeoff and landing measures, the pilot sends a signal to the aircraft through encrypted satellite signals. There's a delay there, so that's the only thing that would bother me, the lag between instruction, particularly with satellite, because it has to go up into space and come back down. Really depends on how fast it is. There's no video feed that gives you real-time feedback, he added. There's no way to control the aircraft. The way to control the aircraft is essentially a menu of options. You think of it as a choose-your-own-adventure based on where the aircraft is, and there's a set of buttons to allow the pilot to redirect the plane somewhere else. Oh, God. There's no joystick. You don't have the ability to hand fly the plane remotely. This is not a video game. You're literally just watching it then. Monkey mash button.
Yeah, that's concerning. And what I can't quite figure out is, what do you do about things occurring on the plane, not around the plane?
Nothing.
I'm not going to say what they are, but let's say something goes awry inside the plane.
Like a horse gets loose?
Sure.
Well, that happened on a flight. They were transporting
snakes on
horses.
A plane. I was thinking of something more egregious.
Like a fire breaks out or something like that. But there's no people. This is just a cargo plane now.
Oh, that's true. This is not a passenger plane. But I guess, okay, so let's say we start using this for passenger planes.
Right. That's just now. I mean, in time. You know, yeah, I would freak out if I was a passenger on a fully automated flight. But eventually, I don't know.
That's probably going to be the norm, and people won't know otherwise. Like in younger generations, they'll just think that's how planes fly, right?
Or there will be a human sitting there in the seat that's a pilot.
Just in case of emergency or whatever.
Yeah, just in case. But then the ability for somebody to sit there and be, well, I'm the pilot and I'm the one that's flying and nobody else can do it and I have blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the solution will be, because in reality, the only way that you're going to gain the trust of the standard population is to prove beyond reasonable doubt that this thing is perfect. Like, there is no chance that this thing is going to biff it.
Well, how do you do that? Because like regular passenger planes, of course, are not 100%,
right,
as we see. But some of those are due to mechanical, some of them are due to pilot, some are due to other causes.
Marketing. Got to educate, and build that trust. So the automatic flight model still requires a real-life pilot to operate the plane, and pilots must be certified to fly the plane from the cockpit in order to use the automated system. But the difference is you don't have to have a layover for a pilot. The number of hours they're waiting to get on the next flight doesn't have to occur, so you'll have a great impact on the shortage of pilots we have today. So it does require a pilot to still be there. That doesn't make sense.
Right now they're having somebody pilot it, but not on the plane.
Oh,
but this says from the cockpit.
Right.
So maybe for the test flight, they just had it without anybody.
Yeah, so for this flight, they're saying that the automated flight model still requires a real-life pilot to operate the plane, and pilots must be certified to fly the plane from the cockpit in order to use the automated...
Right, yeah, like you just have to have the skills to be in the actual plane, but you don't have to be in the actual plane, I think.
Yeah, but you're sitting right next to me flying this plane that only uses buttons to take off and land.
Right. I'm not saying it's a good model. I'm just saying I finally understood the distinction in the article.
That is just goofy. You have to be certified
in a plane to mash a button. You don't want somebody piloting it who's never flown a plane, do you?
If they've reduced it to button mashing and it's not fly by
maybe
wire.
A good video gamer could do it. I don't know.
Ender's Cessna. Oh, boy. Anyway, yeah, this is pretty funny. Reliable Robotics is currently working with the U.S. military to try and apply the technology to larger aircraft, the company said earlier this month. Yeah, we're not that far away from Ender's Game. We're going to be invading alien planets pretty soon. All right, let's keep going. This next article is over in Hatch Ideas, how a ounce cup turned Stanley into a $750 million a year business. Over the past 4 years, the Stanley Quencher has become one of the most popular water bottles in the world. Nah. This is the one that became all the rage recently.
Yes, and in fact, we saw the one that was the Starbucks branded one of the Stanley Cup.
Stanley
We
Cup?
had an article about that.
Stanley Cup?
Isn't that a sporting event?
Yeah. Stanley Cup. That's pretty funny. Isn't that? It's hockey.
Is that hockey? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Nicholas Vega and Lauren Shamo over at CNBC's Make It put this article together. 110-year-old water bottle into a $750 million business. There's a video about this, but basically the Seattle-based brand was chugging along with a comfortable $70 million in annual sales from its famous Hammer Tone Green products, and looked poised for another century of modest, reliable success. But starting in 2020, something changed. A fledgling every episode. A fledgling product came into its own and turned Stanley into a juggernaut. Over the past 4 years, the Stanley Quencher has become one of the most popular water bottles in the world. Sold in an ever-growing array of colors and finishes, the Quencher has supercharged Stanley sales by appealing to a demographic that Stanley didn't spend too much time catering to in its first 100 years. Chicks, man. No, women. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sentient AI. I apologize. I don't know. A favorite of nurses, teachers, and celebrities alike, the Quencher has been such a popular product that Stanley's annual sales are projected to top $750 million in 2023. Are you freaking kidding me?
No, this cup is everywhere, and not just because of the Starbucks thing. It's been featured in gift lists, and it was just all over the place.
Here's how Stanley leveraged the Quencher to turn a century-old company into one of the biggest names in hydration. The Quencher arrived in 2016 to little fanfare. The 40-ounce insulated cup, which retails for between $45 and $55, sported a handle for ease of transportation, as well as a tapered design that allowed it to slide into a car's cup holder. But in its first few years, the Quencher didn't make much of an impact. After year, the brand's best-selling product remained the iconic green bottle. In 2020, they brought it new president. Then 7 years at Crocs, Riley changed the strategy that turned the rubber clogs into one of the hottest shoes in the market. So it's kind of like the dude over at Disney that made the Disney princesses.
Yes, the Disney fairies.
Oh, no, princesses.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right, it is the Disney princesses.
Like they were being underutilized and turned it into little girl dresses and the whole ecosystem around the princesses. And the fairies, of course, they've actually blown up, but then they've dissipated quite a bit, which is a real bummer because it's great world building. Anyway, different story. When Riley came on board, he did a listening tour around the company to hear from the employees about what was working, what wasn't. One employee mentioned a group of women in Utah who ran a commerce blog called The Buy Guide. And there it got its start, apparently. Look at that. This looks strangely familiar.
Yes, it does.
But that is not that's a Hydro Flask. So we're on Team Hydro Flask here in ohmTown. I'm sorry, Stanley. I don't know. That cup has a wider base. Sorry. It makes me giggle. So yeah, pretty cool, right?
Absolutely. 5,000. I mean, this is pretty crazy that they'd been around for so long and then they knocked it out of the park with this. And they changed their demographic too, I think.
Well, I mean, for the drink, how many other Stanley stuff? It may have changed their demographic. At the beginning of the
article, it was among like construction workers, and now it's like influencers are carrying their Stanley Cup.
God, that's amazing. Released a redesign. I
think it's really cool.
Revenue doubled again that year to $402 million. Instagram-friendly pastels helped the Quencher be seen as less utilitarian product and more of a fashion accessory. Oh God, it has over 100 colors. That's insane. Now that person, Chelsea Espeo, has a collection of 47 cups. A gym enthusiast. She credits the cup's large size for helping her stay hydrated. Hydrate, homies.
That's right.
Wow. It's pretty amazing. So, let's see. Yeah, their experience at Crocs was fueled by collaboration culture and drop culture. They knew that once we had our legs under us at Stanley, and once we see the connection to consumers that we were creating, we were also ready for collaborations. So, boom. There's that gold cup.
That's right.
This is a different... See, the thing about this is I don't really like the color matching. I don't like... I don't like their design in terms of the color matching.
Because it has like a silver at the top.
Well, I mean, no. Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that Hydro Flask hasn't been sued.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's precariously close. But this is the first time that I've seen the Stanley Cup where the color matching is so right. There's other cups that I've seen where the lighting really shows a disparity between the two. But maybe it was just bad lighting or something, because these look really well matched. So I don't know. I'd have to look at these, but yeah, 100 colors to choose from. Jeepers. Pretty amazing. And it's the shift. It went from this thermos style to the more modern drink cup, instead of the, more like this than a thermos bottle. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
So Stanley now has sold more than 10 million quenchers, and demand for the cup doesn't look to be waning anytime soon. I might end up having to get them, because those cups don't fit in my car. These.
I mean, my goodness.
The Hydro Flask. You can't put.
And how many cups have you bought to fit in your car that don't fit in your car?
Well, until recently, not many. Unless Hydro Flask is like purchasing from them and it is licensed like by Stanley, this is really dangerously close, because I see another one in their offering that's really close too.
Well, but there's another major manufacturer of these types of cups too that we haven't even mentioned, that I would say they're all in the same mix, although they might not have the silver band at the top.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they do.
But I can think of another major brand.
What's the other one?
Yeti.
Oh, Yeti, that's right. I like their colors too. But this one right here, we've got these in ohmTown, but not from Stanley, and this looks dangerously close too. The only difference is that the lids are different.
Right.
But I think they even make one like this too. My God. Oh, somebody's going to be in deep trouble if word gets out that Hydro Flask exists. Watch it be the other way around. We find out that Hydro Flask has been around for 250 years. Their first
Stanley's been around for a long time.
Hydro Flask could be around from like caveman era. No?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'm going to throw this article into the chat, and we're going to move on. So the next article is over in ohmTown Daily, over at ohmTown.com. Go check it out. Become a citizen. Tesla recalls 120,000 cars over faulty doors that could open during a crash. Just a week after its largest ever recall, Tesla's recalling more than 120,000 cars due to the doors opening. This is the fully automated ejection device.
You pay a subscription for that?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and the account doesn't transfer when you sell your vehicle. So if you do get ejected, the issue could occur in some Model S and Model X vehicles, the company said. Last week, around 2 million Teslas were recalled in the US over our Autopilot feature. This is sort of an Autopilot feature. Anyway, it's 2021.
Auto anti-pilot feature.
Auto ejection. autopilot ejection. So anyway, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, I feel like Tesla would be sitting there going, no, don't tell anybody. No. They'd be fighting this thing like tooth and nail. Don't talk about it. The losses are an acceptable amount is what I hear,
It's one thing if it's their cars, but it's another if it's, maybe people driving the cars.
I'll just pay them. Just don't lower my stock value anymore, please. Anyway, the article is really short. So Paulie Thompson over at Business Insider put the article together. Yeah. They're kind of conflating the previous with this one, and I don't really like that. But the fact remains that it's another recall over these just heavy-ass cars that when they get in an accident, they've got a lot of kinetic energy and they've got a lot of potential energy in that battery. So maybe it's safer to get ejected from a Tesla. Probably shouldn't
not
say
onto
that.
the highway at 80 miles an hour or whatever.
Maybe you'll land in a bush. Anyway, the test vehicle was found to be operating without the lockout functionality, which the company said had been inadvertently excluded from the affected vehicles through software updates it began releasing in late September 2021. I don't want my car to be a freaking beta test. The company said
Well, then you can't buy the first model on the market or even the first maker on the market, as Tesla kind of was.
That's right. Tesla's offering free software update. So, it's not a mechanical thing. It's a software thing.
Yeah, but that's kind of concerning. You're driving down the road and like your doors fly off or something. You don't want to find out, well, they didn't run a software patch or whatever.
It's what you risk when your entire car is nothing but a slate computer with no buttons, no nothing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like Tesla anyway. About 2 million Teslas were part of a recall like a couple of days ago or something like that. And now if you have a, let's see, some 2012 through 2023 Model S's, 16 through 23 Model X's, 17 through 23 Model 3s, and 20 through 23 Model Ys equipped with auto steer, you're going to have to get an update for that previous recall. And this other one is what are they gonna do? Is it gonna be an update, software update? It says it because it only received the software update on the vehicles it owns a few days ago. So I don't quite get what's going on with this thing.
I don't either.
Anyway, the faulty doors that we're talking about in the article are from 2021 through 2023 Model S and Model X vehicles. You'll be able to find the article. It's a PDF over on Business Insider, so follow the link. Okay, I really do need to get hustling on the news. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. Homeowner catches culprit wrecking Christmas lights on hidden camera. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play this, but let's see what happens. It's over on newsweek.com. Jack Beresford is the author. It's muted, so let me play it. Oh, there's the culprit.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, what a mean bunny. Yeah, so if you're listening to this on a podcast, basically there's a hedgerow of Christmas lights, and there's a little bunny that's nibbling on the wires.
They must be tasty.
Funny. Yeah. Here in the mayoral mansion, we once rescued a mini dachshund because some butthead tried to get a mini dachshund to save his relationship. And I said, hey, I'm going to break your car window and take your dog, or you can give it to me. Because
wait, you're missing a key detail. Okay.
they had left this mini puppy dachshund in their car while they were working. So I talked to the owner of the business, and they led me to the employee. the employee goes, "You want it? It's yours. My girlfriend broke up with me, and I was trying to get her a puppy because I wanted it to save our relationship. And so I was the proud owner of a new puppy until I could find a new parent. And so it actually nibbled the wires on a light, a stand light, and split the wire. Luckily it was off at the time, but when I came home to turn on the lights, the light in that room did not turn on. And so puppy was fine, found a new home, and happily ever after kind of a thing. That has nothing to do with this. But
but don't ever buy a puppy other than you want to keep a puppy for a long time.
That's right. It's a commitment, much like relationships. So a homeowner who used a security camera to catch whoever was wrecking his Christmas lights has been left in shock, maybe the bunny as well, after discovering the culprit. Christmas lights were an increasingly important part of celebrating the holiday season for millions of Americans, and this whole paragraph is fluff. When he went to check his lights, they discovered several clean cuts had been made to the power cable and became convinced someone in the neighborhood was behind it. I actually saw this on Reddit, so I think that's the source of this. Eager to find out who the Scrooge was behind the crime, they decided to check the footage on the security camera that they had previously installed outside the house following a burglary. Jeepers creepers. Was it the rabbit that stole the stuff from the house too?
I bet it could have been, or like a cat or dog walking off with little items from the yard or something.
That's right. So he repaired the lights, thought little of it. However, just a day later, when he went to turn them on, they were cut again. That bastard bunny. At this point, he was sure that it was some kid messing with us, so he checked the security camera again. This time, there was nothing all day and night, he said. He repaired the damaged cable once again, but this time decided to direct the aim of the security camera so that it focused on an area of the cable that kept getting cut, and there it goes. A little
that's
snip.
pretty funny.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, see, that's where I found it. I could work at Newsweek. Pretty funny, little bunnies. I'm not sure why that they nibble on stuff. Like certain animals will nibble on just everything, but their teeth are always growing, so they have to nibble on stuff.
Well, exactly. But why don't they nibble on good stuff like grass or plants or something?
I don't know. You should have a talk with them. No? So the next article is over in Hatch Ideas. It's a channel all about business transformation. Illinois woman arrested for stealing a dump truck and claiming it was to start a side hustle. Look, it's tough to start a side hustle. You have to have some money to start making money, right? That's what the rumor is. But apparently, you just need a 5-finger discount and a good driving record, and you can steal a dump truck. 27-year-old Evansville woman was arrested by police when they tried to take off with the vehicle. Jonathan Small over at
can you imagine if they posted, like if they were actually doing a side hustle and then they posted like their origin story or something? Well, first I stole a dump truck and then...
I'm a self-made felon.
Right.
Well, she's going to have to start up the company and call it Felon Incorporated or...
There you go.
Full felon dump truck. 27-year-old Evansville woman, right? Destiny C. Bretts. Destiny to be a felon. 27-year-old Evansville, Illinois woman was arrested for attempting to steal a yellow dump truck in broad daylight. Wow. I don't know what to say. I mean, do you think... Does she look like somebody that's going to steal a frickin' dump truck?
No. She doesn't even look like somebody who might drive a dump truck, for example.
As a side gig. Okay, well, wait. Was the side gig actually selling it, like car sale.
Oh, I see. I don't know. I thought she was going to do some sort of construction work or something.
She informed them that she had stolen the truck to jumpstart a side business, but the police did not specify exactly what it is. Bretz was on parole for a previous theft charge in Evansville and had also pled guilty to tampering with a motor vehicle in Missouri. She was arrested and booked in Vanderburgh County Jail without bond. So I hope that they don't have a 3 strikes law, because this woman is screwed.
Right, especially over something like stealing a dump truck.
I suspect that she has a theft problem, not really a side gig startup capital problem.
Right.
You know, what is it? What's that called? When you
like kleptomania.
Kleptomania. Yeah, she might be a kleptomaniac. What were the other vehicles? I'm really curious.
It doesn't give enough information.
Yeah, if they were all dump trucks, then maybe she has a penchant.
But this is also weird, because she stole a truck that was carrying a dump truck. It was a flatbed.
When a man in a nearby truck saw the theft, he pulled his vehicle in front of her and yelled for help. As she had hijacked a flatbed trailer carrying a John Deere backhoe. It was a backhoe. I didn't read the whole thing properly. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, sometimes a woman just wants to dig a channel with a backhoe, and they're just compelled. Maybe she just likes digging ditches.
We don't know. I really want to know what the other vehicle was that she stole. And I also want to know what her side hustle was.
Burying her ex.
Well, that took a dark turn.
No, it was in broad daylight. Anyway, the article that we're going to talk about next is over in Prime Glass. Archaeologists discover ancient Pueblo. Oh man, I completely munged that one. Archaeologists discover ancient Pueblo calendar and other petroglyphs in Colorado. I've spoken about this kind of stuff, that there's Aboriginal or original peoples materials that used to be all over the United States. And I find it really interesting when somebody discovers something that wasn't destroyed as people scooted west and wiped out a lot of original people's works.
Well, probably the only reason this is still there is because the land was designated as a national park. Of course, it could have been destroyed prior to that time.
Right. So the findings by a team from Poland working inside Mesa Verde National Park add to our understanding of the 13th century Puebloan communities. I suspect that they're probably older than that, but that's okay. The findings by the team from Poland working inside Mesa Verde National Park look like that right there. Pretty fascinating. So they're basically ancient petroglyphs that are being analyzed by Colorado's Mesa Verde National Park researchers. Theo? Is it Theo Belchi? Yeah, probably Theo Belchi. I'm sorry if I'm munging that too. The artnewspaper.com is the source of this article. I love this stuff. Somebody took the time to sit there and etch this stuff into the rock face. What would really piss me off is if there have been people, bringing their whatever friends up here and scratching into this stuff and ruining the historical record of this. But I mean, it looks all weathered and stuff. But I recently saw an example of water etching into rock. And they're like, this is 5 years, this is 15 years, this is 25 years, or 5, 10, and 25, or something like that. And I'm like, man, there is no way that a water drop at that rate would etch through solid granite.
Right, like it wouldn't do enough damage or whatever.
In just 25 years. But maybe, how did they simulate that? because it was like out in the open kind of a thing, and it makes me believe that somebody sat there with a grinder for a little while and then shaped this rock and then put this thing together. I don't know. Maybe it's legit. So no, I'm not gonna say that. Poland's what is it? Jagiellonian. Yeah, Jagiellonian. I hope I'm wrecking that name. I'm sorry. Anyway, archaeologists have discovered an ancient Native American calendar at the Castle Rock Pueblo archaeological site in western Colorado that houses the remnants of an ancient settlement. While the oldest petroglyphs found to date to an early as 3rd century AD, JU researchers have found works previously unstudied rock panels created in the 13th century. When the site was at its peak of activity, the leader of the Polish research team, Radoslaw Polonka, considers these findings to be the start of a new process of discovery, combining cutting-edge mapping technology in collaboration with local indigenous communities to better understand the area. Cool.
I find that interesting that those were unstudied. That doesn't mean they've never been seen. And I just looked up, the park has been a national park since 1906.
So it looks like it's within like a crevasse, right? So it was protected from direct observation, perhaps. But
maybe so.
People noodle around with stuff quite a bit. So.
Oh, and it says that it's about 800 meters above the cliff settlements. Okay. So the cliff settlements at Mesa Verde are the well-known area, so that actually would make some sense.
Oh, God. So it's really well-known, but they're still 800 meters up.
But I mean, it's way above the areas where people are typically traversing.
Right. I'm fascinated that it's so high. 800 meters up.
Exactly. Like how
it's a half mile.
People get to that level. And then what else is up there, perhaps?
Aliens. So ongoing research at the site will proceed with a 2-tiered approach, including collaboration with University of Houston's LIDAR team and local Ute tribe members to produce highly detailed digital maps and intimate historical records. That's an interesting term. Of the archaeological site. On the contributions of the Texan scientist, Polonka said he's excited at the prospect of developing a detailed 3D map of the area with a resolution of 5 centimeters to 10 centimeters, a drastic improvement from current imaging. Pretty cool.
So I want to know how the research team got up to this area. Do you think they had to do rock climbing or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to actually see like where it is.
Right, we don't have enough scale in the picture to see.
Yeah. There's this video that I was watching where a person was sitting there climbing up a rock face, but like their body's really close to the rock face and they're climbing up the rope and they're shimmying up the rock face slowly. And then he pans his camera over and there's a monk in the gold robes,
Sure.
Just walking up the rock face.
Like with no gear or nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all. And they're like, oh, okay, well, life choices there, buddy. Work smarter, not harder. Anyway, pretty cool article. Go check it out. Let's keep going. Whoa, what's going on here with this article? Something break? Yep. Okay, so this article's over on the Marvel channel. Stunning image shows cosmic Christmas tree glowing in space. NASA said that a telescope captured an image of NGC 2264, which is a cluster of young stars aged between 1 and 5 million years old. The Christmas tree cluster. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is going to ruin everything. So that's what it looks like.
Oh, that's neat. It does look like a Christmas tree cluster. Or Christmas tree.
Like they hid some of the brightest stars. And then turned them back on. Oh, just stay there. Yeah, gosh. Anyway, there isn't really much to this article. It just says that the image below shows the cluster that has been rotated about 160 degrees from the astronomer's standard of north, pointing upward. This puts the peak of the conical tree shape near the top. So it looks Christmas tree-ish. But we look for patterns. It really does. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And it's green. I don't know if they actually. Oh yeah, they modify the color choices to make it green. It looks like it's been enhanced.
Okay. I thought it was actually green.
Yeah, it's been enhanced through image rotation and color choices. So it says, as for the green gas in the cluster, NASA said that it represents the tree's pine needles. They've changed the color though, so provenance of this is a little whatever. The blinking lights in the video were artificially created to emphasize the locations of the stars seen by NASA's X-rays. The stars are not synchronized in real life. Not synchronized in real life. Do they turn on and off?
Well, are they only visible at certain times? Like, I don't know. That's odd.
That was an interesting choice of words.
Yeah.
Oh well. Let's not give it too much thought. This is just fun. It's a pre-Christmas Eve thing, right? It's a Christmas Eve thing?
That's right.
No, it's a pre-Christmas Eve. It's the 23rd. So let's go on to the next article. Our last one for tonight. So this next article has to do with Christmas. It's the Christmas time of the year. This is in the Marble Channel. Live Christmas trees affect indoor air chemistry. Apparently, researchers find every holiday season Americans buy nearly 30 million live Christmas trees. That's right. In honor of I'm going to pick a fight if I say this. In your honor, I chopped down this Christmas tree and drag its corpse into your house, stuff it into a bucket of water.
Christmas spirit.
Oh. I might have my things wrong here. Anyway, many families enjoy not having a live tree inside their homes, but also smelling the fresh fragrance it creates. They like having it. It says enjoy not having a live
not
Christmas
only
tree.
having.
Yeah. So, do I keep leaving off a word? That changes the entire meaning of it? Might be a psychological problem. Many families enjoy not only having a live tree inside their homes, but also smelling the fresh fragrance it creates. I'll take a fig tree and the fresh fragrance. That smell comes from chemicals called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, which everybody strives to not have.
Yeah, why are those coming from Christmas trees? This is the first article I've seen that connects those two.
Yeah.
However, I thought that came from things that were like plastics and other things.
Yeah, paints and solvents and stuff like that.
Yes, yep. Thank you.
However, little is known about how much is emitted and whether they have health impacts. Many of those, by the way, come from natural sources that are then enhanced. So, National Institute of Standards and Technology wrote this article. It's posted over at phys.org. Our nose is a good chemical sensor, said Dustin Popendiak. Or Popendiak. Popendiak? Maybe it's Popendiak. An environmental engineer at the National Institute of Standards and Technology. We know that these trees are emitting something, and the question then becomes, how big of a source is it? We want to explore which chemicals are emitted and how much, and to put that into context of other sources of chemicals in the house. Can you imagine if these people go, you know what? You can't have Christmas trees in your house anymore. It's bad.
That will be really interesting if that comes out. First of all, people have had Christmas trees in their houses for years. But secondly, the backlash to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a crime. You're trying to ruin my religion. Yeah, because Christmas trees are your religion. Sure. All right. You know why there's tinsel on Christmas trees?
Well, I know it's not good for the environment, but I don't know why it's on there.
Because somebody wrote a story about how a spider wove webs across a Christmas tree.
Yes.
And Santa Claus showed up and did a little dinkle-dinkle-dink and turned it all into snow, like and
sparkly decorations or something.
Sparkly decoration and all of that. And the people, though, it's like supposed to be a feel-good story because they were all happy, even though they were just destitute. You know, a single widow and like 4 kids, you know, barely getting by, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. All right. Anyway, the fresh smell that is commonly associated with Christmas trees comes from a group of VOCs called monoterpenes, which are found in air fresheners, candles, and some personal care products. In the outdoors, conifers and the group of plants that includes most Christmas trees release monoterpenes, and they affect outdoor air quality, but little is known about how much monoterpene is released when a tree is cut down and placed indoors. I consider this probably a lot more, now that it's actually utilizing in a survival mode all of its resources. So they placed it inside an environmentally controlled chamber where they could measure the chemicals emitted by the tree in real time, using a technique that could detect airborne organic compounds known as proton transfer reaction mass spectrometry. I wanted to say spectroscopy, but it's measuring the VOCs, not looking at them. They measured the VOCs emitted over a 17-day period. In their experiment, the researchers simulated the home environment. They decorated the tree with a typical holiday lighting setup and shone bright lights on it to mimic the day-night cycle. They turned off the lights every 12 hours and watered the tree every day. They brought in outside air in a typical rate for households and constantly measured chemicals in the indoor air. Pretty neat. They basically made a little grow room. Monoterpenes were most abundant VOCs emitted from the tree. They peaked during the first day, before diminishing significantly by the third day. Their concentration was initially at the same level of plug-in air freshener, quickly dropped by nearly 10 times its original amount. The researchers detected 52 distinct monoterpenes. Neat. So I guess it died, and so it didn't produce.
Right, I guess that's good news for people that have live trees in their houses.
Yeah, I suspected that, it would be high, but then because it dies, it would go down. But they don't mention that it's higher than normal, right? Researchers then injected...
Well, they talk about the formaldehyde level, and it's lower than what's already in houses.
Oh, really? They found that ozone... Oh, well, it's because of ozone. They injected ozone into the chamber to see how it affected indoor air chemistry. They found that ozone reacted with the monoterpenes, forming byproducts such as formaldehyde, another type of VOC, as well as other reactive chemicals. The monoterpene concentration diminished even more when the introduction of ozone, probably because it was killing the tree faster. However, the amount of formaldehyde created was relatively small at around 1 part per billion. So typical U.S. houses have formaldehyde concentrations ranging from 20 to 30 parts per billion. So if you're sensitive, Christmas trees could be causing a problem. So if you have watery eyes, runny nose, stuff in the back of your throat, itchy ears, that kind of a thing, everything's connected in your head, so you might be susceptible to Christmas tree VOCs. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
And it suggests leaving them outside for a few days before bringing them in if you have them.
That's right. Let them die out in the open world and then drag their half-dead body into the house.
Or consider a synthetic tree.
But then you have to worry about
probably VOCs.
And VOCs and microplastics. You know what? What you need to do is get an unadorned Festivus pole. There you go. That's all you need. An unadorned Festivus pole. Festivus for the rest of us. The airing of grievances takes place here in ohmTown on a daily basis. Right here in ohmTown Daily. And sometimes when I shut everything down and walk into the mayoral mansion from the studio, I continue to air my grievances. Anyway, back into the party bus. We go all the way back to Wham! Hoped Last Christmas would top the chart, and it took 39 years. But this is this is a hard paywall now. So you, dear viewer from, let's see, the past, future, the future. You, dear viewer in the future, will probably have to subscribe to this. I'm considering dumping this because it has that paywall. You suck. Just be ad powered and stop being greedy. Okay. Anyway, information should be shared. That's how the internet works. We link everything together and we talk about it. And I'd be driving traffic to you, but you're not being very kind about it. Anyway, that's it, folks. Thanks for hanging out on the 23rd of December. In about an hour or so, probably less, we'll be doing because the time machine has to cool down. We'll be doing December 30th's episode. So see you in a little bit. I'm Mayor Watt. That's ohmTown.com. And up there is the sentient AI that's on high saying bye.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. And stay tuned for more episodes.
Can you see up my nose? Yeah.
We're not looking.
Nobody's looking. You know, if you really wanted to protect me from trouble, you'd look up my nose. Music's over. Did you want to say anything? No? No? Probably safer not to.
I may not want to do it at that cost.
Man, the AI is just going to disconnect their optic sensors. Bye, everybody. Merry Christmas in a couple of days.